Hey everybody, and welcome back to episode 3 of our 4th Age Total War Elven Realm campaign. We are attacking our first proper faction. These are the Men of Tharbad. This is a faction that is new in the mod, in the sense that this is not a sort of canonical faction. But given that we're establishing, new ideas of new kingdoms in the 4th Age, it seemed to make sense to have these guys as somewhat of a splinter faction in the wake of this this new shadow cult that's splitting apart the reunited kingdom. So Tharbad is a Dunedainic faction. They are sort of a mix in a way of Dunedain, local Eriador units, some Dunlanding-ish units, some Rohan-ish cavalry, very, very basic cav, just a single unit actually. But they are a little aggressive, or at least they can be in the early campaign as they try to establish themselves. And so that's what we're running into right now. In the distance there you can see the settlement of Three Ways, which we had recently taken from a Dunabar, from the Shadow Cult. And in the settlement there we only had a couple units. We have, actually, these are our Mariners, which we're seeing for the first time in this campaign. They are swordsmen. They are pretty effective, but they are not, super special in terms of abilities or anything like that. We also have some Elven bows. These are very solid archers, but again, they're not going to be especially suited for melee. And then we have our mercenary bowmen of Eriador. Now, we don't necessarily want to lean too much on the mercenaries at this point. We certainly want to, protect our elves, but our elves, on the other hand, can kind of protect themselves. So what we want to do is, we want to avoid getting shot up by these mariner bowmen. And we want to bring our bodyguard to bear. Over here we've got our unit of Elven Retainers. This is the governor of Sarnford. We took that from a rebel faction. Idhrenor of Harlindon. He's made a relatively long journey to get here. We've got some Eriador Rider mercenaries, a good sort of medium cav unit, and more bowmen. And it looks like they're running some Mariner Swordsmen toward me. This is a little annoying. This is a this is one of those units with javelins, right? And so they're going to do some damage to us. I think we're just going to have to send our swordsmen against theirs. And I think we should be okay. If we can get a few casualties in here, which we sort of have. All right, let's get in under the javelins. We're probably going to take some losses here. All right, actually, they're down to 45 already. That's surprisingly good. They were at 60, now they're down to 35. Wow. We're killing them a lot more than I thought. Of course, we're going to take some damage here. I always hate seeing that those numbers turn red when I'm playing an Elven faction. Yeah, down to 28, losing heavily. Okay, very good. Let's get our archers up here for some higher ground. And then over here, I think we need to start being a little more aggressive. Let's run the bodyguard over, and let's run the archers over here, and let's get the cav up there. 35 elves. I mean, this is, what did we have, 60? Or maybe we only had 40, actually. But it's very, very stressful seeing them get killed. Alright, so our bodyguard here, he should have no trouble with any of these units. In fact, let's go after the Tharbad militia just because they seem to be menacing my cav. It will be good to take care of these Mariner Swordsmen. I think that's all they have of that particular unit. The rest, as you're going to see, is kind of lowish tier spearmen. These are essentially the Dunedainic militia style unit, but they're Spears of the Bridge. They get several units of those, and their Mariner bowmen are pretty decent, but they're not like longbowmen or anything. But this is their bodyguard unit. On the one hand, that's kind of nice because it means they're not going to they're not going to have really heavy Lancer cav. Alright, Mariners, let's go over there. Why are you running over in that direction? No idea why he's running around like that. They're getting shot. I don't know what's happening. Okay, so Axemen of Tharbad. This is another unit that is available to Tharbad. Surprisingly a good one. Kind of a tier 2 unit. Again, I think my bodyguard should be just fine. See if we can get a decent charge. Very nice. Let's stick in for a little while longer. Alright, let's get out now. Now our Mariners are just doing fantastic. Let's actually aim at those archers. Tharbad militia is like their lowest tier, so not too concerned about that. The bodyguard could do some damage to me. It's essentially a men-at-arms, very heavy swordsman. But because they're not going to be bringing cavalry bodyguards, they're just not going to have the sort of strike power that a lot of other factions will. Alright, this is not at all a good charge. So let's get out of here. That did almost nothing. Gotta set up my charges more carefully. Alright, so far I think we're doing okay. The Elven archers, have we lost many of them? It doesn't appear to be. Maybe we haven't even lost any. Mariners are down to 27. I'd love to just deal with these last few. Okay, they're routing. Perfect. Oh, and the axemen caught my cav. Of course they did. Let's give them some waypoints, and we'll have to worry a little less about them. Those archers are almost done for. We've got another unit of Mariner Bowmen, and I'm not sure exactly what they're firing at. But we'll aim our bows at them, and then, you know, we can send our cavalry. Well, we can send our Elven bows into melee. With some of these spear units, I wouldn't feel too bad about doing that. Alright, these Axes of Tharbad are pretty aggressive, but I think we're going to probably get a decent charge here. They're moving towards us. It's when the units are moving like laterally away from your cav and you have to turn to get them that you're not going to get a good charge. If they're moving towards you, you can actually get a decent charge off. Like, this should wipe them out. That did pretty well. It's just that their bodyguard is still alive, the family member here, so... Okay, let's get the elves down. And we're just going to send them into the melee, I think. We'll throw them into these, maybe these Tharbad militia. They're such a low-tier unit. We may take a few losses. Obviously, it's not ideal. Let's bring our other units around. Those Mariners are really taking a beating. And the Merchant Guard, you can see, is winning easily. I mean, it's taking them a long time, so there's a lot of attrition, a lot of slow, gradual changes in the melee, but they would beat us down. But we've still got our bodyguard. He has taken a loss. Maybe he's lost a couple elves. Okay, we've got our other archers out of ammo. We may as well bring them down here to help out the Elven bows. Shoot into the back of these spears of the bridge. Our general's not going to mind that too much. And geez, we should be getting these guys to rout. They must have a pretty decent morale boost from this general they brought. Okay, let's go ahead and we'll hit these spears of the bridge, I think, from behind. And they may rout before we even get there. Alright, let's pull out. And since we've still got a handful of Mariners holding off all of this, we may as well use them, and we'll get into the back of those Merchant Guard. They're utterly tired, so a cav charge is probably going to be pretty devastating to them. Alright, just like to wait for my cav to form up. We're utterly tired as well, though. Taking some losses on that charge. And we just barely worked in there. We did finally get some damage done. Okay. These elven bows are going to take losses. Okay, we've got the attention of the spears of the bridge. These guys are going to be gone very soon, the ones fighting my general. So since they're running that way, I'm going to use... no, not you. Let's use the elves. The elven bows, as you see, have only like knives or short swords, so they're not going to be great. Alright, and we can now send our general after theirs. I just heard a flee order, and I'm not sure exactly who gave that. I think... yeah, let's throw our archers in. I don't want them getting away. I want to, really destroy this army. We haven't taken any losses on our bows yet, and notice the fatigue levels on our elves. They're winded. The mariners, they've been fighting this entire time, are only very tired. Alright, they're routing great. Let's bring the elves up and around, and we'll get the cav lined up for a charge. No one is left, so this should be the end of it here. I'm not in a huge rush to charge in with my other units. There we go. We'll just continue the battle, run them down with our elves or cav. I think we'll just catch him with our bodyguard. And there he goes. Clear victory, but we did lose quite a lot. I mean, it doesn't look like it in terms of the numbers, but our Mariners unit is just about destroyed. Let's take a look at what the healing rate is going to be. Okay, so we're actually going to get 15 Mariners back, and we're going to get 14 Rider mercenaries back as well. That's fantastic. So that army's out of the way, and we really need to get back to Sarn Ford, unfortunately, because it's got a red face where it's 60% public order, so I need to bring back at least some of these units. Now, I could potentially return like just the mercenaries, maybe just the archers, and that might be the thing to do. Let's see, if I keep the cav... Alright, that gives Sarn Ford a yellow face. We're training some units here, actually, for the first time. Training some of our Elven Watch, a spear unit, and we've got enough population just to keep that going for a while. We could keep up the pressure here and attack this army, and then come down into this region. Now, I don't... Yeah, okay, so this is just... Let's withdraw. I thought we were going to have some backup with our three-ways garrison, so let's bring these guys out. Alright, and now they're gonna flee. Okay, interesting. Well, three ways itself is not very happy. 50% public order. We are just one season away from Outland Dominion, though, so that is going to improve. Okay, what do I want to do here? Let's leave the Mariners. I know they're a fantastic unit. That's not going to help that much, though, for public order. We probably, out of all of these, need cav the least. That gets us to 70. So literally a unit of Elven archers and a unit of my bodyguard is what we're sending at Tharbad. Now, this army is not a huge one, but I think we have to deal with it. We'll be fighting in the woods, which is kind of nice, and this will be a way to just, diminish their forces. Alright, it looks like they're not waiting for us. And thankfully they're just sending these units kind of one at a time. I'll actually hold back, I just don't want to get any friendly fire. These axemen, by the way, are not armor-piercing, but they are, pretty numerous, and they can be surprisingly robust. So, what we're going to do is just let them approach the archers. They won't be able to catch them. but we will sandwich them between those two units. Assuming they make it there. I mean, they may rout before even getting to my bows. Yeah, we cut them pretty much down in half or less than half. Alright, let's send the archers in as not really a flanking force, but kind of double duty here. We want to get these guys routed quick. These other units are circling around. I'm most concerned that they're going to do damage to my bows. Of course, they're the lighter unit. Bodyguard should be able to take care of himself just fine. Those Elven retainers are really tough. But yeah, they're going right for the archers. That's the smart move. Well, so far, that charge was not super impressive. And we've just about eliminated these axemen of Tharbad, so this will just be a sort of a long hack under the trees here. Oh, there goes the general. Let's see how quickly they decide to rout. If we had one other unit here, I think they would be routing, because we could do a little bit more flanking. And those are the two tough units. The other unit here is Tharbad Militia. They are a very, very low, lowest of the low tier. A really cool looking unit, though. One of my favorite units in the mod in terms of looks. It's kind of a classic sort of, I don't know, Anglo-Saxon style armament here. But we should be able to cut through them pretty quickly. And, you know, in that melee, our Elven bows did really well. We only lost a single elf in that melee. No doubt due to the combat bonus that we enjoy in the woods. Alright, we get them to rout, and so we'll just clean this up and see you back on the campaign map. Okay, we've got 3 ways just barely hanging on for public order. And we've got 2 Elven units out in the field and nothing else to back them up. The question is, what does Tharbad have in the area? And I just don't know, and we don't have the scouts or the intelligence to figure that out yet. We can't train any... No, we can actually. Alright, we need to do this then. We'll get a scout, and that is much more like it. We've got a nice green face in 3 ways on account of our Elven Watch Spearmen that we've just moved over from Sarn Ford. 3 ways also just finished its Outland Dominion building, so that means we can start some other stuff here. It might be good to go for the animal husbandry instead of the construction charter, although the construction charter here would be iron. Let's see what iron does. I can't quite remember. Okay, where metal ore can be found in my metalsmith workshop can create tools and metal fittings to improve the speed of construction. Okay, that might be nice actually. The other option is livestock, which would improve the armor of our Elven units. And, you know, I think this would help with trade. So I think I want to go this route. We will be training out of Sarnford for a little while, so I think it's okay to just delay our sentinel posts by a turn at 3 ways. At any rate, it's going to take a little while before we get up to the requisite levels of those industry buildings for them to get those really nice bonuses. But let's move our emissaries around, do a little scouting here. And we've got an army of Adunabar besieging Amonsul yet again. We were trying to keep an eye out for that troll army. Was that it? Was this the troll army? Yes, it is. Okay, great. I mean, you know, not super great, but at least I've found them. Now that we've got Lastbridge looking nicer and happier, let's see if we can get some of these elves out of here and maybe move off into the north again to try to avoid some of these Adunabar armies but cause some damage to the stuff that they've done up there. And what I want to do now is get up to Carn Doom and these northern Arthedain provinces and really just carve out their infrastructure. Well, our stealth has paid off, although I'm not sure if this is really a legitimate ambush or if the AI was perfectly aware of where I was. Regardless, this is going to count as an ambush battle, so they'll have no time to prepare. And we've got a nice little decent quarter stack we can eliminate here. Oh yeah, these poor bastards. They don't have anything too threatening, certainly for Glorfindel. They don't even have any archers. Well, they do. They're sort of buried in here, though. So we've got some Elven riders hidden in the woods. Otherwise, yeah, we're just going to charge right down with Glorfindel and let him deal with most of this. Okay, looks like that bodyguard is going right for my Elven riders. What a jerk. He knew exactly where they were in the woods, or maybe he was just running away. But yeah, we should be able to kill him there pretty quick, so we'll head back up north. Let's kill these dark bows before they do any damage to our Elven riders. I really don't want to lose any of that unit. But you can see the AI doesn't really want to engage with any of these units. They definitely try to avoid, they try desperately to flank, but none of that is going to help in this case. And that's it. Everybody's routing, so we'll chase them down and see where we're going to head next. Alright, we have a message for a candidate for adoption. So we may have some of our characters sailing off into the west, or we simply may have acquired so many settlements that the game is throwing us a bit of a bone. So what we could do here is accept him. Now the problem is, he doesn't have the stats that I want. What I'm really looking for and holding out for is a particular kind of character who can lead and rebuild Ost-in-Ethel. And that's something we'll talk about a little more specifically when that comes up. But this guy is a Nandor elf, so one of the Nandor. And that, unfortunately, is not one of the kind of elves who can rebuild Ost-in-Ethel. We need a Naldo or a Cinda. And those guys are, you know, a little more rare. Now, if we really, really just desperately needed another general, that would be fine. You know, as we've seen, elves tend to have really good stats, but we're going to hold out at the moment. Okay, now I really wish I knew what happened here. We had that army with trolls besieging Amonsul. Now it's gone, and there's a big force inside. I don't think this was here before, but I guess I could be wrong. So maybe the Reunited Kingdom eliminated that troll army for me, or maybe it's marching down even now to besiege me. I'm not really sure. And okay, yeah, here he is. He just moved away. Alright, I'm going to keep on you, buddy. We're definitely going to be shadowing this guy. 2 trolls is definitely a problem. But we've got another noble who's stuck his neck down in this region. We've got trolls up in Tardal. I don't want to deal with them. But I suppose we could take care of this general and then move up into the trees here. So we'll probably do this one off camera. Even though it is a family member, it's going to be a pretty straightforward battle. Actually, on second thought, they retreated. They moved a little bit back towards Tardal. So if I beat them, I'm going to be right about here with fewer movement points. I think we need to keep their attention focused on the north. So I think I am going to just ignore that army for now. And Tharbad is looking, well, pretty weak in the area, actually. So I think I'm going to risk taking some of these mercenary units out of here and some of our good elves. We'll get them out of the city, and I think we're going to head towards the North Guard Fort. That might make sense. I'd love to capture Tharbad kind of quickly. So let's see. Can we even get the archers out of here? Oh, we can. That's wonderful. So if we don't get counterattacked, we should be able to take this by storm the next season. Well, we've finished our fiefdom in Fairfeld, but as you will see, it is going to be a bit of a longer journey to get this up to snuff. Unfortunately, this doesn't even have a rural province. It is just completely undeveloped, so we need to build this up. This is sort of like your core building to sort of allow you to get to the different levels of construction. So once we do this, 3 seasons away, we'll be able to get our sentinel posts and start training Elven out of here. Over in Tharbad, though, we were not attacked on the AI's turn. They seem to be pretty hesitant. We can assault here, and then we'll take Tharbad on the same turn. Now, this is a fort battle, and I don't think there's a whole lot of point in showing it, so I'll just see you once we've taken it. And there's the North Guard Fort captured. We'll just occupy, not much of a point in destroying the population here. But we can get rid of this village council. and we can start queuing up our own garrison farming building. This is going to give us just a little bit of growth here. Not that that's that fantastic, but we will eventually get to train some units, and the nice thing about it is we can retrain the local mercenaries here. And I had forgotten about that feature, so fantastic. We'll leave them in the settlement, I think, and we'll go right outside, and I want to go over here, right next to Tharbad itself, and we'll attack this army standing directly outside it. Now, I imagine they may not want to stay and fight. Oh, but they do. And they've got longbowmen. And the ruler. Well, he started it. Okay, this is going to be a field battle. It'll be pretty open. We've got 3 units. Let's do it. So I've set up as close to the city sort of as I could, and this is where the reinforcements, the garrison, is coming from. And over here we've got the Mariner Swordsman and the Cav that we attacked just outside the city walls. So here we have the by far, well, the more threatening army. They've got some interesting units too. In addition to the Axemen of Tharbad, these city longbowmen are no joke. They've got their Merchant Guard unit, which is quite strong, as we've seen, and they've got Tharbad pikemen. So, you know, part of me thought, well, maybe I should just grab those mercenary cav that I'm retraining in the fort, but I don't think it would have mattered all that much. I mean, it's always nice to have a little bit of that punch from your cavalry, but on the other hand, you know, it's just another unit. You'd have to manage it anyway. All right, we're going to take some fire here from the longbows, so we're going to need to run in as fast as we can and engage them in melee. We are already shooting at them, though. And yeah, let's see. We took... actually, we didn't take any losses yet. Let's see how they stand up. There's going to be another round of arrow fire coming. No, maybe not. They're running. All right, we're pushing them. Great. All right, our Mariners. I think our Mariners are going to do okay. Let's go ahead and hit the Axemen of Tharbad. And I guess we got to use our elves, our elven bows as part of the melee. These guys are probably actually going to die. The Mariners are going to be gone forever, I'm afraid. And hopefully these units are coming, you know, along at a decent clip so that we can engage with all of these units and wipe them all out in this battle. Pikemen are presenting a nice rear to my bowmen, so we should be able to whittle them down. And I'm actually happy the Mariner Merchant Guard has withdrawn, so we can focus on these longbowmen. This will be a great unit to eliminate. This is probably the unit that Tharbad starts with in its capital. And I can't remember if they can train them from the get-go or if they have to build up to it. But it's just a great unit all around. Okay, we've got Merchant Guard following our bows. So let's keep them on skirmish and we'll kind of run those guys around the map. That would actually be fantastic. Cutting down these archers, or axemen of Tharbad like it's nothing, of course. Then I think I want to turn and engage those pikes. Only lost 3 of our Mariners so far. Very nice. Okay, pikes are closing in. Alright, and they're turning around, deciding they're not going to catch our elves. Give us a few free shots in the back. Took out 7 men with a volley. Fantastic. Alright, they're still marching in our direction off in the distance there. Great. I want to engage and destroy all these units. If I do that, we'll be able to walk into the city without a siege. If I don't do that, well, you know, at least we will have done some damage. Now let's get the Mariners, since these guys are going to be turning anyway, let's get the Mariners around right about here. And we can just keep shooting this Merchant Guard unit right in the back with our bows. That's like perfect. I don't even know that I want to engage with my swordsmen just yet. We'll let them be in the trees here. As those units close in, they'll be nice and fresh again. And we can just solo all of this with our Elven retainers, I think. Oh, they just gave the withdraw order. What a bunch of cowards. Good battle there, but we didn't get the city. So we'll put it under siege. Okay, and the troll man here is besieging Fornost again. So good. I want them to wear these units out on rebels, reunited kingdom, whatever it takes. Alright, so we're moving Glorfindel farther into the north. There is a bit of a danger here in that this guy who we neglected to attack last turn, could just turn around and besiege last bridge and take it. We've only got some mercenary bowmen inside. If that happens, it happens. I think it's more important to really damage a Dunabar than to obsessively defend last bridge. Okay, so this is a bit of a surprise. It is the AI's turn. Tharbad has approached me with a trade offer because apparently we are neutral now. So I'm guessing what happened is they have allied with the Reunited Kingdom. That's the only thing I can think of, and that forced us into a peace. That stinks because I had Tharbad under siege, and I was going to take it this turn. So you know what? I'll give you trade rights if you will give me. How about you give me Austin Ethel and Swanfleet? I know that's a settlement just to the west of it. And you know what? How about an alliance? Yeah, no, I didn't think so. That is... that is just too good. Let's see how the diplomacy shook out. No, they allied with the Shire and Rohan, and so that caused us to be at peace. Well, I'm definitely not happy with the prospect of peace with Tharbad at this point. They just attacked me out of nowhere, and now they've stymied me diplomatically, so I'm not going to let that stand. Let's just besiege it again. I don't think I can attack these guys. They're not standing on the bridge. So, yeah, we'll just attack this neutral faction. That is going to destroy... Oh. Rohan sided with Tharbad. Okay. So that's very bad. Well, our move to the north definitely got Trollman's attention, so he has abandoned his siege of Fornost and is moving towards us. Let's move over here towards Karn Doom. Yeah, I guess we may as well take them. Karn Doom has a ton of units. I'm curious as to what is inside Karn Doom, though. If we move over here with our scout, can we see? Okay, it's orcs. It would be a lot of units that would be great to get rid of, and we could destroy their Outland Dominion. This army could just about reach us, but, you know, this is the kind of fight we want. A sort of big, decisive clash in the north. I think we're going to do it. Let's put this under siege. Now, we've not been counterattacked outside Tharbad, so we could have our way here, and we could just go over the walls in an assault. So, one of the really unfortunate quirks of having an infantry general and a siege assault situation where you don't have a lot of other units is that sometimes he will get stuck holding the ladder, and I mean literally stuck. Normally, the way you can get a unit to drop siege equipment is by this little button, which is their special ability button. However, because we're having a general here, his special ability is already occupied by the Rally Troops horn. So I don't think... Yeah, if we do that, that's not going to allow him to drop it. So we're just hoping he makes it to the wall without getting killed. We also have the siege tower on this side, hopefully drawing off some of that fire from the tower. But we're just taking some losses. Okay, this is all very scary now. We have our Elven archers there. There are some longbowmen showing up as reinforcements off in the distance. I'm not worried about them. I'm just worried about getting up these damn walls without having our general killed by ballista fire. Oh my gosh. Okay. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Just move it. Like, run, 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 run. Okay, I think we're in under the worst of it. But there are still ballistas, you know, firing on the walls. These guys will get here. We'll see. Whoever gets up there first is going to run for these towers. We've got our cavalry, too. So maybe it would make sense to bring them over near the archers, who are hidden. As soon as these bowmen get within range, we'll be able to turn around and fire on them. And it looks like the longbowmen are about to take the bait here. We've got our hiding elven bows hiding in the tall grass here, or really they can just hide anywhere. And in a moment, yep, they're going to emerge and start shooting. Now, the angle is not great, but I didn't want to risk having them break cover by turning to face them, so we'll see how much damage this does. Got a volley on them. They're probably going to be blocking each other to some extent. All right, we took a few out. And where are they going to go? No, they're going to slightly reconfigure. Here we go. That's pretty good. We haven't taken any losses yet. We've got those extra hit points, I believe. All right, let's try to push them with our cav now that we're starting to take some losses. And in the settlement, we've got our family member down. We went around pretty much all the walls. We've got all the gates anyway, and so we can start to bring these guys down now into the center of the city. All right, those longbowmen are being pretty persistent. They're reforming, but they are shooting. Well, if they're going to give us a nice, straightforward rear charge, I'll take it. They can't get in at this point unless any of the other units inside recaptures those gate towers. All right, all lined up for the charge. Let's do it. Beautiful. All right, we'll stop firing. Chase them all down. It'd be nice to have our archers in the city, I guess. And since we've captured literally all of these gates, we can just walk through. Let's bring our family member in towards the middle now. Inside, we've got Tharbad militia, but more importantly, we've got these Mariner swordsmen. These very tough-looking dudes with javelins. Bows are now backed up by our rider mercs, and we're shooting at the captain. These are those merchant scouts. I don't think they're going to do too well in this fight, even though, you know, it's bowman versus cav. Well, they are going to get a charge. Well, okay. Yeah, we did take some losses. Now, some of that's going to be friendly fire. This is our gateway firing ballistas down into this mess, and so we want to get this settled as soon as we can. All right. I hate to see it. Just all the carnage here. 26. We had 41 elves initially. There goes the captain. All right, just everybody halt. Ugh. And let's send a charge in. It's actually not going to be a charge. It's going to be more of a slow walk because we've got the awkward, pathfinding of a settlement here. But that does seem to have been enough to take out the Tharbad militia. Mariners are down to 7 men and wavering. And yeah, we've definitely taken some damage with our elves. Some of that, of course, is due to the walls, due to the towers. But some of it is just straight up losses due to fighting. So you can see these guys are not totally immortal. But with that, Tharbad is captured, and it does have a blue face, a little bit better than I was expecting. We're not going to lay desolate. I think we will just occupy the settlement. Now, I don't think I've mentioned this at all, but Expel Populace is a way that you could trigger some more elven population in your settlements. Of course, this uses the basic, the enslave mechanic in Rome Total War. The population indicated here, it gets split up between all your other owned settlements that have a governor present. That just means a family member sitting in the city. So if you want to have more elven population in your elven lands, you could sort of use this system. Now, the problem with that, of course, is these are men, so it doesn't really make sense that you would suddenly get an increase in elven population in those places, but it's sort of difficult to represent that in the mod, so there you go. I'm going to avoid using this button again just because it doesn't seem quite right. We're just going to occupy, and we're not even at low taxes yet, so do that, and we're in the green. We do have the option to get rid of this very big Lord's Barracks for 5,000 Mirian. We'll get rid of these provincial councils. We don't need that stuff. And with that, I think we'll end the episode, folks. We have sort of not quite ended our war with Tharbad, but I wouldn't mind taking the Southgard Fort. And of course, we need to get these couple of settlements, this one in particular. But that, I think, will be the goal for the next episode, as well as the resolution of this big battle up here. It looks like we're totally outmatched in terms of the strength of these armies. But as you've seen, this should be a pretty interesting one. So I hope you join me for that. And until then, take care.